Just get a sheet on her then. And here, I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at her. She didn't work very well last week, so. Is she warm? Yeah, she's warm, isn't she?
Well, warm hose them or
cold hose.
Cold hose them. Yeah.
I mean, it's just getting warm enough now
Yeah.
to do. I don't like doing them in the winter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to, but it's great. It gives you a great chance to look at a horse as well when you're hosing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got so many horses that go a week or two without seeing a horse stripped off, and I just find gives you a chance to have a good look at them and then have a quick chat with the lads as well at the same time. You want washing off? You got one more space there, yeah? Now dear, will you do this? Scrape this off you. Just get a sheet for her as well. Okay, there you go. You don't want a hose, do you?
There's a few want to hose me down. How would you describe a life as a trainer? Is it?
Good question. I don't know. It's a mixture of a lot of things, I think. Frustration can be frustrating, can be exhilarating, I suppose, exciting, nerve-wracking. I think you go through the whole range of.
It's a lot of emotions to keep in check.
Yeah, yeah. I think through the year you go through all of them. But I think the key is, which I've probably never been great at doing, is to try and keep it as level as you can. I mean, you see the likes of Gosden and Rogerian, and they're very, especially Roger's very level, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or appears to be.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sure he has his days.
He said to me though, he appears like that, but underneath the legs are going like that under the
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that's what he appears to be that way.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a bit more emotional than that, but I think for your own sanity, you want to be as level as you can, because this game would drive you mad if you let it.
Do other things that wind you up?
Staff. I mean, staff's probably more of a headache than horses at times.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got generally got a great bunch of staff here now, and we work well as a team. But over the years, geez, you had some frustrating people. But every trainer has the same problems, I suppose. It's just, I think once you get into you get a set routine that works for you, and then it's training everybody to stick to that routine and stick to that program. And when you get to that stage, then things become a bit easier. But,
would you swap it for anything else?
Yeah, multi-millionaire playboy.
I think in any sport you have to be an optimist. How much optimism, though, do you have now, given what you've done before and looking at this string that you've accumulated and looking at particularly your older horses? How excited are you about what's coming over this flat season?
Try not to get too ahead of yourself and too excited, because you know so many things can go wrong in a racehorse's life, and that tempers things. You know, it could get giddy and go through, we're going to do this with this horse and that with that horse, but there's an awful long way to go to get those horses there from being entered.
You've alluded to this earlier on when you first set out and you were having a few horses in livery and getting them ready for other people. You didn't quite envisage being where you are now, but now you're here. What does it mean to you, Elaine, and the girls to have that sort of ammunition to try and go to war with?
If we sat back and thought about it, I mean, yeah, it's a huge achievement to have even done as much as we've done now from where we started anyway. But you don't really get time to analyse it like that. You just, you know, you have a big win. Yeah, you enjoy that moment, but then you're on to the next one, and you know, you're always working 3-4 weeks in advance with the race pattern. And, you never really get a chance to sit back and think, yeah, we did well there. But maybe one day when we retire and somebody else has got the licence here, then we can do that.
I can't see you retiring. I just can't see the R word in your vocabulary.
No, I mean, I think it's a job that you can do for a long time. I don't think there is a retirement age. I think it's mentally you have to want to do it and physically be able to do it. and even if that physical and mental capacity reduces, I think you can bring the number of horses down. You can make it easier for yourself. I think the number of horses we've got now and large number of horses does take a bit out of you, but it's when it's going well, it's enjoyable. Yeah. Just try and keep him straight if you can. All right.
I mean, I don't think we ever saw us going over 100 horses, and now we've sort of got 140 in the yard and horses waiting to come in. So it is amazing. You know, we've gone from strength to strength, and having the good horses, that's been exciting. And, you know, even for like myself and Lucy, you know, riding some of the good horses and riding some of the group horses, it just, it's really exciting.
Dad seems pretty relaxed all of the time, but is he always like this when you've got this quality of... Is he always a relaxed, or does he get a little bit uptight when it gets near the big moment?
Yeah, you can tell when it's coming to a big race. If everything's going smoothly, he's quite good. If there's any sort of, you know, hiccups or anything coming up, then it's getting close to some of the bigger races and the pressure's on. Then he's a little bit more sort of quieter and he can get a little bit more stressed. But I think that's natural. That's just because he cares so much.
How would you describe yourself as a trainer? Is there
Better ask the lads that.
how would you describe him as a trainer? Come on, you can be honest. He's giving you free rein.
Go on, Jamie.
Top class.
Top class.
Just do what you can with her, Mark, without overdoing it. Get a blow into her, a little blow.
Outside the winners, because obviously winners are rewarding. What's the most rewarding thing, Karl?
Seeing a string of horses that you know you're responsible for.
Just single file all the way. You just follow him up. If you're going well, you find yourself going well, just sit and wait for him.
And especially not necessarily in a morning like this, but in a nice sunny summer morning, and you see your horses, nice string of horses, and they're looking well. You're in the middle of a good run. It's a good feat, you know. That's very satisfying. Very satisfying.
Yeah, I can't imagine that there's many mornings when you don't feel like you want to get out of bed.
Middle of January when it's
Yeah.
horizontal snow hitting the window panes while you're laying there, you think, maybe I'll have a day off. No, there's always something to do, and
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're always working 3 or 4 weeks in advance, because there's always a plan for a horse, and you're always on that particular day you're thinking 3 weeks ahead or 2 weeks ahead or whatever it is. So every day sort of rolls into one, really. Where she live? In the courtyard. You go down the bottom. Yeah. Got enough space on the walkers for these, have we? I think if you do the little things right, the bigger things will follow on. And by doing the little things right, having the horses looking well, make sure they're eating well and everything is tidy, and
Detail.
yeah. Trying to keep the staff buying into that regime, which generally they are. So
I think you've just done the best interview for the Liverpool manager's job there. I think when they watch this, I think your name's creeping up that list.
Be interested. I'm not sure the players would agree with you. She moved well, Alice?
Yeah, nice today.
Similarities, though, seriously, similarities between managing players, managing horses. That's what you're saying. It's that management of detail, spotting the things that other people.
Yeah.
That sets you apart, doesn't it?
Possibly. And I think that's, again, seeing different things in horses, with their training or the way they are at home, and in the sales ring as well, going around seeing young horses, and what I might see in a horse somebody else doesn't, and then what I don't see somebody else does, and that's, you're never going to buy all good horses, but the trick is, I suppose, to buy more good ones than you do bad ones, and I think that's what we've been able to do. So, I mean, I'll walk around, and I'm sure the lads must think, what the hell are you doing? Like, you know, I'll just walk around and stick my, you know, the horses will come to, and I hate horses that are head shy.
Yeah.
Don't like horses, you know, there's a reason why they've head shy. They've had a bad experience somewhere. I love walking around and just stroking their heads, and you can see they're relaxed. The horses are relaxed, and you can see their characters. And I'll do that nearly every day as I walk through the yard. I'll go up to every horse and just give them a pat and just see how they are that day.
You can see it in their eye, and some horses are stood back, or at night in the summer when the summer nights are on and it's light at 9:30, I'll have a walk round nice and quietly, and you'll see some horses will be stood at the back of the box, and you can tell they're not quite happy. Other horses will come to you, other horses will be eating their food, and you can see they're chilled, others will be laying down, but you'll spot the ones that are not quite right in themselves, especially when you get to know the animal, you know. Little things like that, that's...
Difference between winning and losing?
Sometimes I would say, yeah. Or difference between running a horse when he's not quite right and doing damage to that horse, you know. They haven't groomed this fella yet.
You've been very open with us, Karl, and told us you had a bit of a health scare last year, and it's been a tough battle that you've come through. How much has this helped you in that recovery, particularly when you were going through chemo and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the chemo session wasn't nice. I mean, I had the operation in July last year, and then was recovering from that, and had to have the chemo just to make sure nothing had spread. But the chemo was the worst. I mean, that was particularly hard. But I was still doing a little bit in the office as much as I could for a few hours a day, and keeping an overview of the place. But obviously, physically, I couldn't be out with the horses as much as I wanted to be. But yeah, it took your mind. I was probably in a hell of a lot better position than somebody else going through the same thing that was stuck at home in a high-rise flat somewhere and nothing to do and nothing to think about. You know, when you've got something to think about, and there's plenty of stuff to think about in this game, it takes your mind off and gives you a goal to aim at.
Karl, fallen angel, one of the apples of your eye. How she got on over the winter? What's the plans?
She's done really well over the winter. She was always a big filly, but she's filled her frame and strengthened. We're very happy with her. The plan is to go straight to the Guineas. She'll probably have a racecourse gallop, all being well, at the Craven meeting, if Newmarket will allow us, which I'm sure they will. And I couldn't be happier with her. She's a Group 1 winner at 2. It'd be fantastic to get a Group 1. If we can get that classic, it's the icing on the cake. And she's been behaving herself well here at the moment. But she's got a tough streak in her, but the good ones do, I think.
What are the realistic aims for you? What would really make this a successful season for you?
I think to have an English Classic winner would be fantastic. You know, that has to be the main aim of any trainer, I would have thought. I mean, last year was a tremendous year. We had nearly 4 million in prize money and 126 winners, I think, we had across Europe. So that was fantastic. I'd love to have a winner on the international scene in the Middle East again. You know, hopefully next winter we'll have a nice team out there, especially if we can, these older horses produce this year. We've had a Breeders' Cup second. It'd be fantastic to have a Breeders' Cup winner. It goes without saying, but they're hard to get, and you need a lot of luck and a lot of hard work along the way.
But the Classic winner would be the pinnacle.
Yeah, for sure. We were lucky enough to win the French Oaks with Laurens, and that was a fantastic achievement and a great day. But I think to cap that, to win a Guineas or a Derby or an Oaks would be great.